Well, thank you all so much for having me here. I'm really excited. I apologize for being a few minutes behind. I was coming from another session. Today, as we look at, as the session, insights on presenting the value of your services. I'd like to start, you all can read our learning objectives today, but I'd like to start with just a little background as to what kind of got me here, because it really kind of gives you an idea of my journey as to where I've come to having a little bit of better understanding of how do you communicate value and why it's important. I think a lot of times as public health professionals that we're a little bit nervous about communicating with other people about what our value is. And so about, it's been over 10 years, I was at a point in my career where I thought if I built it, they were going to come. I had just started a pediatric weight management clinic at a university in North Carolina. It was state-of-the-art, it was cutting edge, it integrated all different curriculums, and we had some clients, but it was really difficult. It was difficult to engage providers, it was difficult to engage the families, to get the kids to come back again. It was difficult to keep that schedule full. And so after several years, I had built a really great network and lots of partners, but I still was missing something. And so I got to a point in my career where I was sitting across the table from a gentleman that was starting a worksite wellness company, a startup worksite wellness company. And he was trying to persuade me to become the new vice president of sales. And I looked at him and I said, I don't know anything about sales. In the back of my head, I'm thinking, he doesn't know that my clinic isn't full all the time. And yeah, he sees all the partnerships I have, and he sees that I'm on the news, and he sees this and that, but he doesn't really know that, our numbers aren't booming. And he's like, you really don't need to know sales techniques or anything. He said, what comes through is your ability to network and to build partnerships quickly, but moreover than that, your passion. And so I thought about it for several weeks because leaving academia was a big deal to me. I really enjoyed being in the academic realm, but moving into a for-profit industry was quite intriguing to me. I looked at my friends that were in business and they were making more money than I was, I'll just say that. But moreover, I started realizing more as I looked at industry and I said, how can they sell something that is that silly? That's a really great marketing ploy. Who would pay money for that? And people did. They would pay money for certain trinkets or certain things or certain shakes and weight loss products and things like that. And I was like, you know what? There's still a lot more I can learn. There's a skill set that I need to learn. And so I decided to take the jump and take the leap into working in the for-profit world. And I will admit that when I first heard my name in the same sentence as the word sales, I felt dirty. I did not feel good. This public health girl was just even now I'm getting goosebumps just hearing sales. And so I took the position, but on the caveat that my title was not VP of Sales, that it was VP of Customer Solutions. So, again, sales, I'm not here to convince you that we're salespeople in terms of we're pushing cars without engines and things like that, but to really start thinking in terms of, are there characteristics? I'm good? No.
No, so I will adjust you my time.
Okay.
You're so good at projecting, it's projecting.
Oh, my voice carries like a foghorn, it really does. I thought he was doing a dance or something.
No.
Should I just talk without it? Is that better? No, okay. I will lower my voice.
Our A&D guy just turned down.
Okay, thank you. I'm so embarrassed. It's part of being a Burkle. That's my mom's side of the family, and a bunch of Belgian farm people in Green Bay. And whew, my husband's always like, our kids are Burkles. I'm like, I know. So what I want to share with you today, though, is how do we engage our customers through our value? And I learned several things through this whole process, this journey over the years of being in the for-profit realm, that have maybe not feel, maybe, as I thought long term, I wanted to get back into public health leadership. And I thought, well, those skills that I can learn in the business world are going to be very transferable in public health, and I think they're going to make me a better public health leader. And so I want to share those with you today. And the key kind of jargon or thing you hear a lot about is customer engagement. So how do you engage your customers? And your customers really are your clients, your coworkers, the providers you work with. Really think about anyone you come in contact with could potentially be your customer. And so what are the keys that I've learned? These are the 3 things that I've found most important in engaging my customers and really relating my value to them, or relating the value of my program or my services to them. So first of all, I have to know what I'm going to say to them. When I first started developing the pediatric weight management clinic, and I was introducing myself to people within the North Carolina community, I started out by saying, "Hi, I'm Michelle Reimer. I'm the director of the Solmaz Institute on Obesity." Blank stare. First of all, what the heck is Solmaz? And then you're on obesity, so you're for obesity? Like, what does that mean? And so what I realized after I had several blank stares and not many questions after that, and thinking, gosh, I guess I'm not a very engaging person, was that really the way I was introducing myself was not engaging. I was reporting out a title, I was reporting out the title of the institute that I had created, but people didn't know anything about it. It didn't mean anything to them. So I had to learn how to really market myself or know what to say. The second thing I had to learn was how to create awareness for what my product was or what my service was, really. Because a lot of times we offer lots of great things. So we've got the Tobacco Quit line. If you look at the numbers in some counties, perhaps they're not really, maybe the usage isn't as high as we'd like to see it. But maybe people aren't really aware that they can use it. Maybe they're not aware that they can get nicotine replacement therapy through it. Maybe they're not aware that there's a Facts to Quit line. So again, there's this whole idea of being aware of something before you can even take advantage of it. And then the third thing, which I found really difficult, was managing my customers' expectations. Well, I'll take that back. I found it difficult until I started thinking in terms of not feeling nervous or not feeling like what's in it for me, but always going into a situation thinking, how can I help this other person? What can I give to them to help them? Because that's going to give me the biggest return on investment. So let's go through these different things. So in terms of knowing what to say, you've all heard of the elevator speech. And my goal today, you're going to hate me because it's after lunch and you're tired, but is for you to leave with I would say a draft, or maybe you'll have a great elevator speech of to what your services are. I want you to be able to leave and to meet someone and tell them what you do for your health department. What does your First Breath program do? What does it mean? How are you going to grab that person's attention? So I want to show you this quick little clip on different elevator speeches and kind of what one should look like and what one should not. And again, the term elevator speech actually makes me kind of nervous. So I don't know if anyone else, I don't know why, it causes some anxiety in me, but I almost just like to say it as it's just my introduction. So if you think of it in terms of it's just my introduction, it doesn't really give you the sales pitch, and it won't make you feel as dirty, all right? So let's see.
Yes, No, last semester went okay. I'm really looking forward to this one a little bit more, but, you know, in a general sense. No, yeah, operations is going much better than any of my other classes last semester. I'm looking forward to how that turns out. And, I mean, I just can't believe, especially, I mean, money and banking, please, you know, I do what I do. Oh, hang on. I'm in the elevator with President Oldham right now. I didn't even, okay, hang on. No, stop, no, okay. Hey. And I mean, if you've got anybody in the college of business or anybody that knows, if you need a qualified professional, somebody that will actually get the job done well, then you know what? You know who to talk to. All right, so, okay.
Bye, Dr.
Oh my God, hi, I'm
Hello.
Chris. It's nice to meet you.
Meet you, Chris.
Nice to meet you, President Oldham. I'm a College of Business ambassador, and I like art and painting and wakeboarding. My mom is like your biggest fan. Can we take a picture together really quick? Will you hold it? Take our picture? Your arms are longer.
Okay. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. I'll send it to her. Okay. So, how are things? How's the First Lady, the kids? You know, y'all just say cheese?
Sure.
So, what are your plans as president?
Well,
What was it? Have you met Awesome Eagle? He's really cool. I like your shoes. They're really shiny. Do you shine them yourself? You're the president. I bet you have somebody to do that for you.
Of course.
You're just the nicest guy. Oh, this is my floor. I'll see you later.
Hey, President Oldham.
Hello.
My name is Jessica Terrell.
Hey, Jessica.
I'm a College of Business ambassador, and I'm also on the speech and debate team. I have some great ideas that could really help this college. I know you're a very busy man, but I would love to let you hear them.
I'd love to hear them. I'm just headed to lunch. I was going to grab a quick bite. You want to go talk now?
Yes, thank you. I love the opportunity.
That'd be great.
Bam, girl. All right, so now we've gotten all of the what not to do out of the way and kind of where to follow to head towards of what sounds like a good speech. So how are we going to start crafting our speech? I sound like that guy right now. Oh, your shoes are so nice and shiny. All right, sorry, I got to figure out how to run this. Okay. So in terms of crafting your speech, we're going to follow four items. We're going to know our audience, we're going to know ourselves, or in this case, your service, or the service that you're offering First Breath. We're going to outline your talk, and then we're going to construct your speech. So first, starting out, this is something we're going to do with in groups, so you may have to end up turning around to people around you. Yep, we're going to pass out some cards. Depending on what color card you get is depending on what audience you are going to focus on. So if you get pink, you are going to focus on the pregnant woman. You are going to think about characteristics of pregnant women that you see within your clinic. It can be anything from socioeconomic to just characteristics in general, like character traits. Also things, age, blah, 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 you get it. Okay, if you have orange, your audience is going to be a partnering agency or another clinic. So someone outside of your agency that you're going to be working with or selling your services, promoting your services to. And then the last color is yellow. My kids would call that snot green, sorry, I'm just saying. That is, your audience are colleagues within your organization. So think about other individuals that you work with during meetings. Okay, so the assignment again is to talk about the characteristics of the group that you've been assigned. So things it can be things like their age, their gender, their education, character traits, things that you observe when you meet with them. Again, it's going to be a little bit overgeneralizing, but just think in terms of high level, what does that population or that audience look like? All right. The next thing we're going to do now I want you to think, you've thought about your audience, now I want you to start thinking about you, or for the purpose of what we're doing now, your service, the service you're offering. You can do this individually, so if you even want to grab a sheet of paper or whatever, you can, it'll just help for you to write it down probably, is think about what are your key strengths, what do you bring to the table? When you think about your services, what adjectives come to mind? What are you trying to tell other people about your services? What's going to get them interested? What do you think will get them to go, oh, yeah, I need that. Yeah, I want to use that. And then why are you interested in that target audience that you just talked about? Make sense? All right, go. It's okay if you don't have everything written down. This next slide is going to be the most helpful in kind of forming your message. So you probably, what would probably even be really helpful with this next slide is to complete it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because what we'll do is we can take these points and turn them into sentences later on. So again, you can do this on your own. At one point I was going to have you share with each other, but I think we're a little bit pressed for time. So I will have, yeah, I know you're like, darn, I did not want to share with people. All right, so I'm going to give you a few minutes to go and work on this. All right, so there's two different, well, there's lots of different kinds of introductions you can make to people. The first one is something that is what I call our 10-second one, and that's just when you're meeting someone and all you have time to do is shake their hand and bam, it's over. You know, you might be at a conference, might be passing someone in the hallway, and so that is what your 10-second speech is. And I want to give you an example, and you can actually do this one on your own because we want to spend a little bit more time on our 30-second introduction or our 30-second speech. But really, when you only have 10 seconds with someone, your goal is to communicate your value. It's really not about you, it's about the listener. So what are you going to say to the listener that's going to intrigue them, that might make them want to stop and actually take time and listen to you or ask you more questions? And so it's really as simple as saying something like, hi, my name is, and I help blank do what? Do this. So for an example, you can do this in different ways though, because I could say to you, hi, I'm Michelle, and I help Carl organize his desk. You want to ask me more questions, don't you? It's very interesting. Or I could say to you, hi, I'm Michelle, and I help professionals to maximize their time and live more fully or something. So in terms of saying, you know, I do organize Carl's desk, but I'm actually helping him to have more time so he can do things that he loves to do. So I'm trying to spin it in a way that is making it sound kind of glorified. I'm a glorified desk organizer. So I'm going to let you work on that one at home. I do encourage you all, though, to think about these things. I think it's really important to be able, when you meet someone, you never know who you're going to meet, and you want to know what you're going to say. I always think, oh my gosh, if I met like Michelle Obama, what would I tell her? You know, like I would want to be good if I met her. and I need to work on my 10-second speech. So now what I want you to do is we're going to work on a 30-second speech or your introduction. And so these are 4 steps that you can use to write it. Now, do you have to use these steps? No, not necessarily. This is kind of a framework. Really what the purpose of this is, though, is you want to engage people in your first breath service. You want them to either, if it's, again, you're thinking of the audience. I apologize, I should have thought about that a little bit more, is you need to make sure that you're targeting this 30-second speech at the audience that you were talking about with your group. So if you were if you were talking about pregnant women, then your 30-second speech should be targeted towards a pregnant woman. You can also then, if you were talking about your colleagues, then you wanna tell them your 30-second speech should be more targeted toward your colleague. Does that make sense? So as you work on that, what you're gonna end up doing is writing that on the on your card. So on this card, on one side, you're gonna wanna write at the top of it, if you could just write who your audience is. So you can write pregnant woman, colleague, provider, something like that. Just so as we pass them around, we kind of know who your target audience was. And then write your 30-second speech or your 30-second pitch to that audience. Again, keeping in mind that you're trying to sell or promote your first breast services. Here are just some things to think about when you're doing a 30-second speech. 90 to 100 words or less. You want to capture your listener's attention. Should be clear, no jargon, and it should be memorable. Well, good work. I hope that helped you to start thinking in that mind frame of going back and saying, okay, how am I going to explain this to people? How am I going to make it so that it's sticky? I probably only have like 3 minutes left.
I'm being a really bad timekeeper. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm a bad timekeeper too, obviously. All right, well, we have a lot of slides to go through that we haven't gotten to, and I apologize. No, it's not your bad, it's my bad. I was having a lot of fun with all of you and I was a little bit late. So two of the other, I think knowing what to say to individuals to engage them is really is one of the first steps to get people through the door. Then after that is probably trying to keep them in the door, right? Without having to lock it. And so that really goes into customer service. And gosh, there's so many. Oh, I just want to do the awareness test before we leave. Okay. I think we'll have to, in terms of customer service, you all have copies of this. Would it be helpful for me to, do you guys send out copies or anything? I don't know if it'd be helpful for me to send out like a PDF of the slides, if that would be helpful. Or if anyone has questions, I'd be happy to talk with you if there's, if you're like, oh gosh, we really could work on our customer service. Josie comes to work and she looks like she's been up all night and she gives everybody the snake eye. And, in terms of, if you look at the research, almost 70% of people don't return to a service or a product because of how they were treated or how they were perceived how they perceived they were treated. And a lot of that is just our body language, the way we look at someone, even just the way we stand, anything like that. So the last thing I want to do, have any of you done this awareness test before? You've all done it. Okay, if you've done it, don't say anything. So this was my second thing, was to talk about awareness. I'm going to do this because you might want to use it in one of your, like in a presentation or something like that. That's why I just want you to see it. So, and then afterwards, if you have questions about customer service, or if you would like Carl or I or someone to come and work with your group on customer service, we would love to do that. I'd love to be technical assistants for you on that. So let's talk a little bit about awareness and really get in the mind frame of what awareness is.
This is an awareness test. How many passes does the team in white make?
Go!
The answer is 13. But did you see the moonwalking bear?
Go!
So I leave you with that, is that If people don't know you're out there, if they don't have awareness of you, they might miss you. So get out in your community, get out and talk to people, get where the people that you're trying to reach, go where they go. Put information out where they're out, and then once you get them in the door, remember that customer service is so important to engage them and keep them there. Thank you so much for your time.